and we're recording this, and also it goes on YouTube, so just be aware of it. Building the Agropolis is an important concept nowadays, because there's a lot of pressure placed on households and therefore on rural or township developments. I speak not from a huge experience, but if building 16 Agropolis villages in Malaysia gives an indication of what is involved, and I've experienced that over a period of several years. And I did that with a partner who makes building materials from rice straw, biomass mixed with plastic bottles, shredded, and a polymer that is that comes from a renewable source as well. So as I said, householders are now being pressured to lower their carbon footprints. So the idea of Agropolis goes along with food resource that is from local, and that lowers carbon footprint, no transportation. And so Montpellier University is involved in a grant of 25 million euros for those who can design a good Agropolis. Okay. Leong Tatman last time talked about how he is going to build a sea wall around Singapore's East Coast Bay to retain salt water out of it, but fresh water inside. And here he builds a little mini city that takes care of the rising water level problem. Here is a video that you can follow. Just to recap the kind of concepts that we're dealing with. So the idea is vegetables are grown on pontoons with a agrivoltaic, so a photovoltaic, transparent photovoltaic, and that's the same as what we're doing here. So here is the seawall that he built, and it's in multiple levels where they can plant vegetables and have a chicken farm below, and then fish even below that. Okay, so just a little recap of okay, let me just fast forward it a bit, go to the end. Okay, so there's the idea of the Agriport in Singapore. Now that is going to require a lot of energy, isn't it? So obviously renewable energy is going to be desired, and so this is the space in which Dr. James Kwok, who has joined us, and I'm just going to read you the summary that he sent me, and it goes something like this. My technology is reforming potential energy from disruptive cycles. So the process is continuous by repetitions of a multi-conversion, but it's not a perpetual mobility, as that does not exist for any involvement of energy conversion or having any forms of access to potential energy for conversion at all. I'm trying to understand what that means. So I have a PowerPoint that James can talk over. Let me just get out of my PowerPoint first so that you can look at him. I'll stop sharing and introduce him to you. Hello, Dr. James. You are now our, you need to unmute and then you can speak. And then I will put on the PowerPoint as you instruct me. Okay?
Okay.
Welcome.
Brother James.
So let me just
Hello.
tell you, Mr. Maxim King is here and his friends are surrounding us. So please go ahead and give your presentation. Thank you.
I'm happen to be at Snyder office this morning, and I have got a bit of drawing that I'm probably able to share with you. Okay, so basically the principle of the working of our technology is like this. Can you see this? Can you see this? Okay. What happened is, in any power generation system, there's always the energy boundary, okay, or technical boundary. So I draw it up like this, okay? There's the energy boundary. And then we have got energy input, okay, where the energy from. In the hydro dam, we have got river and we have got a dam, okay? Now, and then we then converted all this potential energy into kinetic energy in turbine. Okay, so this is what we do. And then from the turbine, it then go to generator and then the power export. And then this, the liquid exit turbine is being dispelled, okay, to the river wise or whatever, right? So in our case, what is the energy input for our system? Okay, we also got this energy boundary. And our energy input is from this dynamic storage of hydrostatic potential energy. Okay, in hydro dam, okay, in the hydro dam in here, you have got what we call a static storage system. Okay, it's only input and output, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, in here. In our case, our energy input is from this dynamic storage of hydrostatic potential energy, which is able to be reformed, which is able to reinstate the original, the initial potential energy to be able to have all these disruptive cycles continued, okay, and repeated. And therefore, energy extracted from all this mechanical advantage through that system. Okay. The difference with us, if you compare to hydro dam, is that they got this liquid out the turbine, okay? It's being discharged. In our case, it is used as a feedback here. So this feedback is where it is then injected back into the dynamic storage of this hydrostatic potential energy to reinstate the original hydrostatic potential energy to repeat the cycle, okay? So basically, if you look at the process layout, this is how the schematic of the plant. It's a bit complex. It's not as simple as what you think before, just a tanks, big and small, but it's got a lot of equipment and a lot of mechanical devices that doesn't exist so far. So this is where we will have a pressure gradient and force gradients into one system. Okay, so this is the, it takes a while to explain this out, but I think what I'm trying to do is to share the ability to understand the concept of the technology working. Okay, the basic concept of the technology working, and the basic concept to understand where is the energy from? Okay, A. And B, whether when you have got the energy that you converted, okay, and then how you actually able to have mechanical energy or mechanical advantage. So all this is computed, okay, and there is a simple engineering math to show the people in terms of this work done that it is not maybe, could be, or possibly, but it is doable. That's number one. Number two, the difference with us is that you could see this is where the energy from, and we have got this feedback. Why this feedback? Because the liquid, the spent liquid, is used as a feedback into the system to reform and reinstate the original potential energy. Okay. Now, why is that so? Why is that happen? Is because obviously, as we understand, that liquid have got their natural hydromagnetism where they can join together. Okay, and this is what it's about. Sure, it would be difficult to understand now, but I just want to pass on the concept to understand that there is no magic one. This is purely engineering solution and innovation that doesn't exist. So if you look at this process itself, energy boundary or process boundary or technical boundaries, this is just doesn't exist. Okay, and it doesn't exist. It doesn't mean it doesn't work. Okay, because it has proven to be working, and obviously, those system there in the board is showing the PNID diagram of how the system works. Okay, thank you, Dr. Lee.
Yes, thank you, Dr. James. Are you happy for me to just play the slides and then we can have
Sure.
some more idea of what you're doing there, and then we'll come back and get you to answer any questions that that we may have. Okay?
Okay.
So let me now, if you can see the slides, you can talk over this, please, and explain to us what are we looking at here.
Yeah, the one on the left, is the bearing that we are using for our flywheels. The center pictures is showing the tanks, stainless steel tanks that we're using, and obviously the internals is not shown here, but this tanks is already assembled with all the internals mechanism. And on the right side is the flywheels, which is the biggest flywheels ever manufactured or fabricated by Global Hydro here in Austria.
Right.
So,
are these tanks going to stand up, or are they?
Yeah, stand up.
Okay.
Stand up 10 meters high.
Right. So let me go to the next slide. It's a bit slow, but it'll get there. Okay.
Oh.
What? So looks like you've got a team there, and they agreed to go and fly with you to outer space.
This is all my team, and in Austria. So they're all technical staff and procurement and engineering that is all in here. So we actually quite a large, if you like, organization. So it's not just a one-man band organization here.
This flywheel that we're looking at, is that what it is? A flywheel?
Yeah, this one is this flywheel is used for the generator, you know, for the what I call for the automatic frequency regulator,
right?
Or for interconnection. So this flywheel is able to absorb overspeed and underspeed from that main flywheels, and then they basically regulated the speed to make sure that the rotation into the generator is at 1,500 RPM.
Okay, now I have heard you say several times, give you around 400 meters square area, you build a tower and a generating or production center there to supply one, correct me, megawatts
Yes,
power.
correct. 1 megawatt, and we will generate 23 megawatt hour per day.
Okay, now you have built a prototype at least
Yes.
several places, but the one that I know of is in Bali. Okay,
Yes.
before I get to that, let's just look at your projections. These are this is the vision that you have, that there will be what do you call it, power plugging facilities for electric vehicles.
Okay. Now this facility is the one that we're building in Vienna, and this facility is the first autonomous distributed power system. Okay, that's number one. That's the essence, is distributed power systems as an autonomous generator. And through this availability of power, from there is where we then use to EV charge, as well as production of hydrogen, or if you like, green hydrogen for the future e-mobility.
Okay, and so having produced this electricity, they can be stored as well in conventional batteries.
Because our system is online, okay, and we are producing 23 megawatt hour per day, and the machine itself can be turned down. We are not in the mercy of the weather and the climate, so we can turn it down when we don't need them, and when we need them, we can bring it up into speed, into full load. That is the systems.
Okay, so basically, if someone is supplying batteries for storage, you can plug them into the batteries. Obviously, for the EVs in any.
Of course,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, the problem with the EVs and the problem with hydrogen mobility future is, for hydrogen, is the storage and transportation. Okay, at 700 bar, and that is the issue, and that's never able to address simply. So this is why this particular plan is giving this distributed power system the ability to have this hydrogen being produced in situ.
Yes.
Therefore,
So we can have multiple production centers in a city.
Correct.
Okay. So here is
or in the city, or the remote area. At the moment, yes, if you with Tesla over to California border, you would have a problem of finding out where to charge your car before you're able to come back. So with us is that we will provide this charging station every 20 kilometers across the deserts of vast desert of United States.
Right. Okay. Now I'm showing some pictures of your Bali prototype in Bali.
Yeah.
And so this tower is only 8 meters tall.
Correct. Yes, 8 meters tall, and this one is producing 100 kilowatt unit. It is design rated for 100 kilowatt. So in this place, we do have EV charging station and also the hydrogen facility.
Right. Now you say ideally to produce, is it 1 megawatts? You would have a 20-meter tower.
Yeah, in 1 megawatt is 17 meters tower. Right. 17 meters. Yeah.
Okay. Now you've done some experiments. Here is an old yellow BMW, and you say that you can power this up with your hydrogen tank.
Yeah. This BMW is 318i 1978, where it has got a E42 engine, and this E42 engine, it has got the right, if you like, the injector for what we're doing. So I just make a direct conversion from fuel into hydrogen, and it works perfectly with the containment of the hydrogen in the left there in the tanks. There's a yeah.
Yes. All right. Very good. So in Mauritius, we need 2.9 billion kilowatts. I don't know what conversion you can make, but here is the interesting thing: the usage of renewable energy is going down
Yeah,
over the decades.
I mean, it's going down because it's easier to just bring diesel over from India, and with these trade balances and things like that, a lot of this oil goes through India for distribution elsewhere. So it is a cheap alternative, and I mean, as human is human, they will choose which one is the most profitable, where they can make the most profit. But yeah,
and yet
but
at the same time, the
yeah,
carbon footprint's going up.
it is obviously carbon footprint going up, so you have to actually pay carbon tax to compensate.
All right.
But with this case, it is all coming from the top. Okay, this is all coming from the policy and bureaucrats that actually devise the next move with regards to what is your target and what is the mandatory target for renewable energy. But the issue with this, based on COP28, was the fact that this solar and wind has not addressed anything at all for the last 20 years. A and B, they have also state very conclusive statement that all these trillions and dollars that has been actually overspent of a wind and generator was wind and solar has actually exacerbate the tariff to the community. So it has not addressed anything at all. And secondly, it does increase the damage and destruction to the planet, because they have to continually process this lithium, cobalt, and nickel, and so on. So it is there. But for us, we want to deliver our plan without the need of if you like, feed-in tariffs or ratchet up feed-in tariff, and B, we do not need grants of some sort from the government, and C, more importantly, our plan will be a standalone facility and a viable proposition on its own merit. So this is the key for our plan. You see?
Okay, so you have been working on a package for nations, even in Africa, since I noticed 2017. And so, I mean, Indonesia with a 200 200, oh,
80.
Yeah, almost 300 million people.
Yeah.
They're using 256.7 billion kilowatts.
Oh, yeah.
And most of it is fossil fuels. There's still plenty of room for alternative energy. Their
Yes.
carbon footprints going up and up and up. And of course, like golf, big numbers are not good. So there's plenty of room, plenty of opportunity for private sector to come in and buy in and invest in what is going to be essential, going to be critical to lower the carbon footprints everywhere.
Yeah. True. Agree.
Okay, very good. Now you have mentioned that if we package this together with sustainable agriculture and housing, which is going to be the next topic in our next session, how to make houses from biomass from the agriculture and plastic waste. My friend in Australia, Mr. Kane Telford. Then the agropolitan idea of renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and green building materials is going to be worth, you say, $1 billion?
Yes.
In COP29 in Vienna.
Yeah, true.
Well, how do you come with that estimation, if I may ask?
Just basically, you have to look at the, like Africa, for example,
Yeah.
the demand for housing and things like that. So without looking too far, I mean, you look at the Africa and Asia, that is a minimum of what the market potential is.
Right. And so, of course, with EVs, with electric vehicles, this very nicely rounds up the
Yes.
package to make more robust tools for emerging economies, emerging markets, we call it in fund management, to then convert from a principle of scarcity to the principle of abundance. And what government would not welcome this?
Yes, I think the key that has been in the COP28 is the taboo of talking about feed-in tariff, and this is why the last two COPs feed-in tariff has been gradually distinguished. And this feed-in tariff is basically the issue that people reject because of the normal community reject because of the impact towards the community benefits and the adverse impact to the community. And but the key to this is that most of these kind of projects, they do relying heavily on the feed-in tariff, even in America. But recently we see the Empire Wind Wind 2 and the other major wind across New York and San Diego has been abandoned purely because the wind through the climate change has changed that blowing from the back, and that the blade doesn't do, the blade doesn't turn when the wind comes from the back, and therefore it is just, I don't know, climate change or the changing in the atmospheric pressures. Obviously the atmospheric pressures will change as you build many of these wind generator, and you're actually diverting the wind directions, and these wind directions do impact to the high and low pressures that where the wind project is relying on, and based on the forecast and prediction, that doesn't work anymore because of this. Okay, and this is why projects that was done by Siemens in America is basically based on the wind. It's a back pressure, a wind that coming down in more time, not that is beyond the forecast. So this is why we have got a lot of issues to move forward with business as usual. So as I mentioned before, to move forward from COP28, we have to focus in innovation, and this innovation and technology where it should exude benefits to the community in the long run. Okay, by improvement to the socio circular economy, and rather than just for one person, as a developer, to enrich themselves. So I think the key to this is that innovation that will actually do the sharing and transfer of technology that will be able to share globally, and therefore that benefit can pass through to the community at large.
Very good.
Excellent.
Yeah. So this is a common theme that is running through our technology pack. The housing technology comes from an inventor who wants to give it to the world. That is where I stand with my agroecologic epigenetic paradigm. And Mr. Leong, who last time talked about his sea level rise mitigation with the wall city, the Agriport, he wants to give it to the world. And you have just said the same thing, that you're not in it for the money, you're in it for the philanthropic interest. Now, sitting behind me is a representative from the Raja Group in China, who are providing the batteries and electric vehicle technology, even heavy machineries. And I have a feeling they would welcome such a supply of a renewable energy to complement our initiative in building agropolitan developments all over the place.
Right. So I agree with you. It would be a good idea.
Yes, Raja Group. So this is Mr. Derek. And do you have a question for the Kwok?
On the website,
Okay, any questions? Anybody? No? Any questions?
www.rajaev.com.
Okay, Mr. King has asked me to just open up the Raja Group. Let me go back and share the screen for that.
If this meeting would have been held in Paris, would have gone to Vienna to meet up all of us.
Yes. Okay.
So you have a meeting.
Let me just. Sorry, we're in the lobby of the resort here, so you will hear
It's okay.
a lot of sounds. So let me see. I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, Raja TV just introduce you to the company that we are excited about for supply of storage. Raja, you have to claim the. Huh? You have to claim down the form. Okay. Yes. Yes, Raja. Raja. What is it? EV.com. Okay, so you're about to see a website.
Part of Sichuan province,
This is from Sichuan province, Chengdu,
where the pandas are.
where the panda come from.
Thank you.
Slow, huh? Is it coming? Here it is. Okay, so on your screen, perhaps you will see rajaev.com, and you can just take note of that and browse through it in your at your leisure. But here are some of the products they make. Dr. Kwok storage units, and so this is for rural area residential power station integration,
Right.
balcony solar systems, and this is the type that we need for our research project on the roof of the resort.
Right.
And so, please have a good look through that and see what integration potentials opportunities can be made with the Raja Group.
Perfect. Perfect.
Power storage is the key focus.
Yeah. Okay, let me just stop screen sharing, and perhaps Derek, you would like to say something?
Yeah, Dr. James, I actually have a question. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, understand your devices, like you work here. So you will buy you will use the hydrogen as a material and convert it into mechanical energy, and then convert into a electricity. Is that how the things work?
This is not quite right, but what we have got is the a dynamic storage, right, which is potential energy. So it is hydrostatic potential energy that we use to put into. But the key to this process is that our system is reformable. Okay, this the storage system is reformable. Okay, not necessarily good, not necessarily adaptable for solar, wind, or what. But we have got in our system that is new. Okay, that's innovative in itself. But through the power provision, through having the power, is where we are able to produce the green hydrogen. So our technology is basically a distributed power system where we're producing hydrogen in the remote area for remote areas and so on that will act like refueling stations. So this would become electricity for the community in the remote area, as well as hydrogen fueling station and also EV charging station. So this is because the power produced is online. Sure, we will have got storage in there to ensure that when we have got electric vehicles, 20 of them at the same time, that we can actually power them or charge them. So yeah, so basically that is where the energy storage from Raja could become supplementary to our principal function of our system. But I think the future, as they said, is going to be hydrogen. But the issue with hydrogen is the transportation and storage.
Yes,
Okay.
that is 300 degrees. Yeah.
As we speak this minute, no one can address that. So the distributed power system that we have got addressing all those entirely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, very good. So that is the novelty, and so in
Yeah.
this new knowledge, innovation-driven age, that is what we call blue ocean business.
Okay.
Yes, blue ocean business.
Blue ocean.
Disruptive, and no. So the concept is blue ocean instead of red ocean. Red ocean, you compete against each other. The oceans go red with blood, but blue ocean, you're a standalone. You're on your own. There's no
Blue ocean.
Yes, blue ocean business model. You understand?
Blue ocean.
Yes.
We don't, but we harnessing each others, and we work together with each others, and including with the oil company and gas. We will move into the transitional that would be mutually beneficial to all. But one thing is important with our business model is that transfer and sharing, and the bottom line is community benefit in the sustainable way. Okay, that is number one. So that is number one. Number two, the work that we do automatically by itself exudes planet care, because at the moment when you see the COP28, everybody arguing to each other.
Yeah.
They're arguing to each other about you haven't done enough, you haven't done action enough. Where is your action? Now the question
a lot of
is
finger pointing.
Yeah, finger pointing, and then when you talk about action, what action? Nobody can tell you. So basically, with what we are doing, okay, and the deployment of our project in itself, it provides what we needed for planet care by itself.
Yes.
So it is like you get two flies in one clap, something.
Excellent. Okay,
Yeah.
so once again, now as I look at architect Leong's concept last time, he is going to need to pump a lot of salt water out of the bay and fill it up with fresh water. I understand that you can power up desalination plants very cost effectively.
Correct. Now that is a good question, because
and therefore the water, the fresh water that it provides, not only for domestic use but potentially for agriculture, so they don't use groundwater.
Perfect. Now it is perfect solution. The reason is the key to desalination plant is power. Is 85% is power. So power is critical to desalination plant. But with our technology, we are producing the power, and we put the desalination plant. Now, from every 10 liters of seawater, we produce 5 to 6 liters of drinking water. And the balance, about 5 to 4 liters, is as a brine that we use to produce hydrogen. So we are not pumping back the brine into the ocean. That is actually cause bleaching to the ocean. You with me? So you, you got desalination plant, but you're really killing the corals.
Yes.
So this is what we have to prevent, and to prevent this, it has to be a total study and the total analysis and the total master plan. So it's not just doing a little bit here and a little bit there. Consequently, that is what happened with Mauritius. The bleaching is unstoppable now.
Yes. Well, I'm going to borrow the words of the Malaysian Prime Minister who I worked with last time and call this a game changer.
Yes. You could say that. Say that.
Very good. Thank you so much, Dr. Kwok. This is just our first initial conversation with you, focused on your technology. I hope this is the first of many more to come. And we have 1 year to go to COP29. And I think within this 1 year, a lot can be achieved that can return huge dividends for everyone, for sustainable profitability and profitable sustainability.
Okay, perfect.
In April, Mr. Maxim King is organizing a major forum here, and with representatives who have good knowledge of Africa, with Raja Group. So please be prepared for that. But as
Okay.
you know, we are having a daily conversation anyway. So let's prepare for that one. Thank you so much, Dr. Kwok, and we want to feature you again very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining in. And you can see a repeat of this on YouTube. I'll send you the YouTube link because it has been recorded on YouTube. Welcome, Catherine. You've just come in at the end of our conversation, but Catherine, we will send you the YouTube recording. We had a very good conversation with Dr. Kwok. Okay, thanks again, and look out for the YouTube link. Have a good day. Bye for now.